You're listening to the Book Your Dream Clients podcast, episode 39. Today we are chatting with my friend Emily Aarons of emilyarons.com, and I'm so excited to share this interview with you guys because I met Emily this past summer, and she has been such an influence in my life and in my business, whether she has known it or not. And this is one of my favorite interviews that I've done. It's a really great one, and I think you're going to love it. And be sure you listen at the end because Emily has an awesome gift for everyone. So make sure you listen to the whole episode and stick around and pay attention to the gift that she is gifting all of our listeners. So I know you're going to love this, so make sure you show Emily some love on Instagram and join her Facebook group and be a part of the community because she is so incredibly empowering.
You're listening to the Book Your Dream Clients podcast, where we believe business can be simple and you can use your intuition to run towards your goal. Self-made business and success coach Lindsay Maloney helps you start and scale your dream coaching business. With her step-by-step intuitive and creative guidance, you'll leave ready to put her tips into action, push your business forward, and work with your dream clients. Lindsay is here to help you get unstuck and structure your brilliance into a coaching business that's sustainable and financially exhilarating. Here's your host, Lindsay Maloney.
Before we get started with this episode, I want to talk to you about my program, Standout Coaching Academy, or SOCA as everyone calls it. It's a 90-day program that's going to help you book your dream clients. And this is perfect for you if you are a coach who is ready to create, launch, or scale your coaching business. If you want to fill your calendar up with dream clients who inspire you, and you want to make an impact in the world with work that you feel called to do, I want you to enroll in SOCA. SOCA is an extremely powerful program that will take your coaching business to the next level. And I have 3 ways that you can join me right now, be a part of the 90-day program, join other like-minded women, network with them, learn the best ways that you can build your coaching business just the way that I've created and scaled mine, so you can stop having those sleepless nights with all the information overload and stop doing everything by yourself. So many coaches are struggling to get their businesses started, and I want that to stop right now. So I'm inviting you to go to standoutcoachingacademy.com, check it out, and enroll. Emily, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I've been looking forward to this forever, and I just want to say that I'm so grateful you are able to take the time to spend with me and my audience. I know they're going to love what you have to say. So I really want to just introduce you to everybody in case they haven't heard of you. Let us know all about you and how you got started with your business.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I too have been very excited. I know we connected last summer and just totally hit it off. And so this is like something that's been in the making for a little while, I feel. So what I do is I'm mostly known as a spiritual guide to growing and scaling your business. I've been an intuitive energy healer for almost 20 years. I had started my business as a massage and energy healer way back when, almost 20 years ago. And over the years, I'd kind of dabbled in and out of doing the work. So I had been doing energy healing in my own business. At 22, I started my own company with a couple partners, and I was in college at the time too, and kind of progressed through feeling that scarcity and not sure how to fill my schedule exactly. When I went out on my own, I went to corporate and I started kind of being an executive assistant at a corporate job. And I thought this is just soul sucking. It's not what I want to do. I went back into healing, and through my healing work and really my adventures in I want to serve at a higher level. I want to do more. I want to help more people. I started really branching out and learning more about how I could serve more people and how I could bring my business of healing online. And over the last 3 years, I've really catapulted into the online space, doing my healing work, all the energy work with entrepreneurs. I noticed that I was really attracting a ton of entrepreneurs, and all of the formal education and experience that I had running businesses, it was all really helping me to bring entrepreneurs into my world. I could speak the same language. I could understand what their problems were and help with strategies. But the real work that they came to me for was the spiritual and the energetic stuff. And so that's what I do. I combine the energetic and the strategy. So basically, in a nutshell, what I do is I clear all your energy blocks so you can move forward faster in your business. So that's what I love to do. That's me serving at my highest level. And so I love talking about energy and spirituality and mindset, all that good stuff.
I love that. And that's what when I first connected with you, that was such a huge opening for me, like ever since I met you. And you were like the first person I ever meditated with, and it was so powerful. And ever since then, like things have exploded, and I believe it's because I tapped into that, and because everything comes from within, and I always knew that, but that was always something that was such a like, oh, well, I'll get to that later, I'm busy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I believe that you are so attractive to entrepreneurs because you help them get past the thought that if I'm not busy, then I'm not being productive. And that was such a big thing for me. Like, not being busy, it's okay. And I think that's why entrepreneurs really gravitate towards you.
Yeah, totally. And we were chatting before the call. It's like both of us, we have that like get up and go and like everything is possible attitude. And it can turn into like, before you know it, it can turn into, I will just keep on working through all hours every day. And like, you're just so lit up. It's like, woo. And all the next thing you know, you're like, wait, what happened to the entire
what time is it?
Day? But also like, that's our flow, right? We're in the flow state. So it's like, time doesn't even exist in that place, but it is true. It's like, we get into some funny thoughts about busy equals productive, or if I'm just working harder, I'll make more money. And those are some really common beliefs that I see with my clients. And it's a matter of shifting those thoughts. And I actually read some really interesting thing just this morning about, we talk about, well, I have to, like kind of like unprogram like those thoughts and beliefs. And the way that that I read it, it was like, well, you don't have, it's not like a computer system where you have to like remove the disk of bad thoughts and then you insert the new disk and you have to reboot and reprogram. It's like when you found out that Santa Claus wasn't real, did you sorry for all the people who listen to their kids.
I have a big child audience.
I'm so sorry for all the children listening to the podcast. For all the children under 10, I am really sorry about bursting that bubble for you. But it's like, you don't have to like work at like reprogramming your brain on how to exist knowing this new thing. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, we don't have to work so hard. And like you said, it's all from within. We have everything inside of us, and it's in that kind of exhale, it's in that quiet that we get these really big moments, and how we can grow.
Yeah. And my messaging is do everything with simplicity. If it's not fun and easy, then don't do it. But, especially when people are first starting, when you're just stepping into the entrepreneurial world, you feel like if I'm not sitting behind my computer, nothing's going to continue to move. And they kind of put themselves on the back burner when it comes to, self-care, not doing anything, resting, all of those things. And that can be such a huge detriment to their success of their business and the pace that their business grows. So when people come to you for help, or like, what do you think is the first thing that, okay, I think she can help me because I'm struggling with this? What are some common things that you see?
It's usually I feel stuck, I feel overwhelmed, and I don't know what my next steps are. That's like, when I hear those words, remember, do you remember Pee-wee's Playhouse when like they say the word of the day and everybody screams? Those are like, those are like the words. So stuck, overwhelmed, and don't know my next steps. Those are those next places. But interestingly, people usually gravitate towards me when they're on the verge of a breakthrough, like when they're going through some big shift, and they're at like a crossroads, almost like they're at this crossroads and big things are about to happen. And it's like that extra little edge to clear any of the debris, the old baggage, that heaviness of who you've been all this time, so they can really fully step into their big, bright future. So kind of like from my standpoint as the person doing a lot of this work channeling, for my clients is I get to kind of connect with your highest and your best. So it's almost like, if you're imagining your ideal life, your ideal business, and like the perfect outcome, and you think of all the like beauty of what's available, that's kind of the energy that I'm tapping into. So I'm seeing all the possibilities, and it's so exciting. So actually, one of my good friends was just saying, like, aren't you exhausted when you do sessions with people? Like, there's so much energy going through. I'm like, I actually get lit up by being able to be the conduit for the message to come through, because it's like, oh my gosh, there's so many possibilities for you. And I get to work with so many female entrepreneurs who are like really powerful in their work. And so it's cool. It's like getting to know Oprah before she became Oprah.
So you get like sneak peeks into where they're going.
Totally. And it's like, okay, this is all that needs to happen. This is what you need to step into. This is what you have to stop doing. Let's clear this stuff out of the way from your childhood and like embrace it. And it's almost validating for my clients. It's like, that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want to step into. That's who I want to be when I grow up. And it's pretty cool to be able to embrace that. And, we don't get there by just sitting on our hands and like waiting for it to show up. And, at the same time, we also don't get there by totally dedicating 100% of our time to our computers.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's being able to find that balance of, downtime, letting things rest, letting them kind of simmer, and also taking pleasure in that calm before the storm. And I always, I can feel it in my own business, and I'm sure you've seen it in yours. Like it's kind of cycles, right? Like there are times when you're so lit up and so productive and producing and launching and like, woo. And then there's those like quiet times where there's maybe a part of your brain that's like, uh-oh, why is it so quiet? What's going on? And like our knee-jerk reaction is to like fill it and work harder and like bring more money in and like put another offer out there. But it's almost like you need that calm and peace to collect yourself, because what's coming is even bigger than what you could possibly plan. So I guess it's kind of hard for a lot of people to understand that. Do you feel like you see cycles in your business like that?
Yes, definitely. And I learned to be okay with the calm and the peace, because that's the way it's supposed to be, because there is something at the other end of it. And I love that, like my last maybe like period of that was right when I started automating to fill my group program. And there was such a calm about it. And I thought, this is so nice, because it was like right around the holidays, and I was just, things were working for me. And I found it really odd that I didn't have to work so hard. And it was very interesting, and I liked it. And then, then the new year comes, and then new things pop up, and I just kind of let things go. That's why I never factor in like clients into my income goals, because I treat them as bonuses. And I know that's kind of weird. Some people might.
I do that too.
Well, imagine that.
We're both weird.
I just don't. I know my clients will come. I don't worry about it. I just like let the universe know that, hey, I'm ready for my 4 clients again. And then here they come. They just pop in, and it just, everything, I always say everything always works out for me. So I don't worry about anything.
It does. And I'm going to just like break that down, what you just said, for people who are like, but how do they just
please
appear? Because this is my jam. And I love talking about like going down the rabbit hole of why that works. So you said you don't factor them in. It's kind of a bonus. And when you are ready to open the door to those 4 people, they just come in and you don't worry about it. So what Lindsay is saying, essentially, in my language, is she's completely detached. She's not attached to like, I have to make 4 clients come into my business because I need X dollars and I need to be able to produce X things. And if I don't get those 4 people, it means something bad about me. It means something bad about my business. I'm a failure, and like that whole thing. So because you're detached and you're like, okay, I'm ready, universe. Open up the floodgates. Now I'm ready. It's kind of like, instead of you feeling like you are actually in control, which, by the way, we are not in control of these things. We can control some things. And certainly Like I just said, both Lindsay and I are people who, put a lot of effort in the right places.
Right.
And take aligned action. That's the biggest thing. So what she's saying is, look, it's not in my hands, it's in God's hands. And I'm going to allow the universe to kind of orchestrate to bring in the 4 ideal clients that are going to be great for me, that I'm going to be great for them. And I'm not going to put any effort into worrying about how. And then they show up. And it's like a miracle, but it's not. You've orchestrated it with your energy. You've aligned yourself to say, okay, here we go. The door is open and here's what my new clients are going to look like. You guys take care of the rest.
Yep.
Like what would that feel like if you guys did that in your business? Like, is there any area where you're not totally gripping it with like claw grip and like just trying so hard? Like, can it be easy? Like she said, simplicity, fun, easy, right? Can you invite that into your business? Because truthfully, that's the way that things work faster, easier, because we think that, okay, I'm going to control this outcome. I'm going to have this amount, this is and I can only make money this way. And it's almost like you're blocking money and clients from coming in because your energy is so constricted. It's like if you make a fist, there's no room for air to get in, versus if you just relax and allow, the universe actually conspires for you to arrange the most amazing things to happen. And I'll give you an example that's not business related, although it kind of is. Just Thursday, I opened up my care.com. I know you guys, you have a lot of like mompreneurs in your world, so they'll appreciate that. Thursday afternoon, I reopened my care.com account because I decided I'm going to find childcare like 15 hours in the morning for my baby who's 3 months old, just so I can have really segmented alone work time and time that I'm fully with my baby and not kind of balancing the two at the same time. Just a personal thing. This is not a judgment of people who do that. This is just my personal realization that I need to step up into more of a high level CEO again. And that's what I need to do to make that happen. So I realized that on Thursday. I opened it up. I didn't even put a job listing yet. And Friday morning, my friend, who is also named Lindsay, she came over to watch the baby so I could record for my course. And I told her I'm going to look for somebody because I know she has a full-time job. She can't do it. And she said, it's so crazy that you just said that, because on the way here, I was talking to my girlfriend who is a family therapist. She just gave her notice at her job and she just wants to do some part-time work. And she specifically said she wants to do it with infants. Both of us were like, what? So I not only got what I asked for, I was not attached to the outcome. I knew it would happen, right? Like, so you're willing it in your will. Like, I know it's not like I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I can find the right person for the right hours. I'm so worried it's not going to work. No, I know it's going to work out because it always does. It always will. And it has to, furthermore, it has to. So I was completely detached. I knew that person was out there. Not only did I get a referral from somebody personally that's like a family member who I totally trust and love, but this person is like well overqualified for the position. And it's exactly what I want, and it's exactly what she wants. That is like pure alignment. And so when you boil it back down to your business, so Lindsay is now, our Lindsay is now, she's attracting the clients in the same exact way. She's going, I know it's going to come because it has to, and it always does, and it always will. I'm always taken care of. And she trusts. A lot of people don't trust that it will happen. It's like you plant a seed in the dirt and you're like, oh God, is it going to come? Is it going to, and you're worried. But it's like, it's growing, it's moving. You just can't see it. It's under the surface. Just keep watering it, keep focused, and like trust it's going to blossom. Like, don't worry about it.
Okay. So if I am playing I'll say devil's advocate here, and I'll say, well, if that's easy for you to say because you're already booking clients and you already have a successful business, I'm just like hustling at my computer all the time and I'm doing everything. I have a good website. I have this and that, the things that they believe matter.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking at, I remember thinking the same thing years ago, like easy for you to say.
Yeah, it is. It is easy for me to say, and it's easy for Lindsay to say because we're doing the inner work.
Exactly.
That's the missing part. And just like Lindsay said, that I was the first person she ever really meditated with. And my style of meditation is very much visualization. It's about really, it's like seeing your future self, connecting with your soulmate client, and putting the energy into allowing it to be easy. So it is easy for me to say because I practice so much. So think about it. The way that you're doing it now, how is that working out for you? Like, are you getting the results that you want by working so hard and thinking I'm trying so hard and nothing's happening, right? Or are you able to show up and give without expecting someone to put something in your hand that next second? Like, look at all the free content that Lindsay puts out. Look at it. Like, really, how many hours a week are you giving, Lindsay? Like, would you guess how many, whether between your podcast, Facebook, Instagram, any videos, any other stuff that you do, how much would you guess, like, I don't know, on a weekly basis that you put out that's free?
Right now, I have built up so much stuff. I don't really need to like do anything like that. I mean, it's so little now, but in the past, in the creative mode, I did so much because I just want to be super generous and just give everybody my all. So I have so much out there for you, but now it's so much different. It's the easiest thing I've ever done.
Right. And so, yeah, at the beginning, and I feel the same way. I did a lot more of the heavy lifting at the beginning of my business to get that business machine motor running. It's like there is a little bit of that harder, effort at the beginning to get things kind of moving ahead. But once that machine is humming, it's like you just give it a little bit of fuel at a time and it keeps cranking. But you mentioned generosity, and that's, I think, a missing component, which is why we think we have to work harder to get the results that we want. Because it's like, okay, well, I just didn't work hard enough. That's why I'm not getting paid yet. And it's the giving to give, like just give to give. Like if you have an inspired idea, thought, or something that you can provide people, give it. Just give it to give it. And yes, you'll make money on the other side. And people are like, well, how much do I give before somebody starts paying me for it? Well, you need to also realize you need to offer something of value, not just like your time of saying, I'm talking at you, but something of value. And when you start giving things of value, then people start reaching out privately and they're like, how do I work with you? How do I get this? Like, for instance, I did some soul book healings for some of the active members of my Facebook group the other day. And there was no pitch. There was no, I'm doing this so that you can book soul book editing sessions with me. I did not sell it. I didn't even want to sell it. I've actually blocked off my calendar from taking one-on-one clients. And so after I did that, people saw such tremendous value that I got all these DMs. I was like, how do I book one? I'm like, well, you can't really right now. I'm so sorry. But okay, so the question originally was, it's easy for you to say. So how do you switch that gear in your mind? I honestly believe it is doing that inner work. When you can get quiet and you can connect in your heart of how you can serve at your highest level and allow that to come through you sort of unapologetically, I think that starts to connect with people much deeper than if you were just like spewing a bunch of like stuff that you thought you should be saying. I don't know if that's even making sense, but
it does make sense though.
Okay.
Because when you step into like who you're aligned with, not how you were brought up, how people think you should be running your life, how other influencers out there, and you just like step into your lane that's specific for you, that's when your business really moves well. When you're in the wrong lane, it's like you have the wrong vehicle or something and you like can't get through it correctly.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be in your lane, even if you feel like, gosh, I feel like I'm kind of weird. Or like I used to say, I feel like I'm an alien half the time because I don't have a negative thought in my head. Or like, am I just blind to any like bad thing? Like I always feel like everything works out. And then when I finally realized that that's just who I am, and that's why I can take that and move with my business with that, then that's when huge transformations happen. And I like the topic of generosity, because your Facebook group, you are so incredibly generous in there. You're always showing up. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody show up so much in their Facebook group and spend so much time with the members in there. Let's talk about that, because that's huge.
Part of it lights me up, because when I see people doing the work, I get excited. And if you're doing the work and you're stuck in the process of it, like, I can help you through the other side, versus if you're not maybe doing the inner work and you're kind of quiet, it's like, I don't know what you're going through, and maybe you give up on yourself and maybe you're not showing up. So I feel like it's also rewarding that positive behavior. Like, I like seeing people having breakthroughs, and I get to react with that. And it's like, wow, you're having that through the work that I gave you. This is amazing. Mm-hmm. So it is really exciting, and I want to be active. And I want to encourage that. And I always, and I talk to like my team, I'm like, okay, how can we get them even more active? How can we engage them even more? How can we welcome new members in a different way? And, get people talking to each other. And I still feel like I have a lot of work to do, like particularly in my membership, where people it's like this demographic of like amazing female entrepreneurs all in one space, all looking to enhance their business with using the tool of meditation and shifting their mindset. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this is a place where I could do some growth, which is getting each other to kind of like talk to one another a little bit more, like network a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But I want to give as much as I can to people who are in those places, because I feel like it's a sacred space. And for me personally, I've noticed that I thrive with community. And I think it's just like I think it's something that's ingrained in all of us to be part of the tribe. I think it's part of that, I don't know, mammalian brain. I don't know that part of the brain, but it's part of our makeup to want to be in a group and be in a tribe, because at a very, very, like, I don't know, like at the level that our brains are at, it's like, it's part of survival to be part of a group. Right. And I think that we get very separated in the world that we live in. And sometimes it's almost like the internet can separate us because we're in different parts of the world, and, you're nothing like me. And, we can have these differences, but I think it is about that connection that I want to foster. That's like, we're all struggling in it together. We're all in it together. And somebody yesterday said, there are people who are totally all put together and like their videos are perfect and the sound is perfect. And she's like, but I like Emily because she brings it real. Like sometimes her dogs are drinking water, and I'm like,
I love it. You always have your baby on you.
Right. I'm like, gosh. Like, you do what you got to do. And I'm not putting on a show of like, this is me being real. Like it's right. This is what it is. And I think that's like what you said. It's like that weirdness and that thing that makes you feel quirky and separate is actually the thing that brings people into you.
Yeah, and because they feel like, well, if she can do it with her dogs and her kids, then I can do it. I don't have to wait until my life is perfect or whatever they think. Like, I don't know how many group calls I've had where I have a kid coming in asking for a snack. It's like, well, this is my life. And if you don't resonate with it, then go find somebody else who you resonate with more. And people like that. And your Facebook group, why don't you just like quick mention your Facebook group first so people can go find it?
So the free Facebook group is called Life Made Simple. And we have grown really fast in my opinion anyways. I think because, and it's not about like running a ton of ads to get people to join the group. It's about collaborating and being part of other people's tribes and offering value. So one of the intentions that I set last year in 2018 was to be a guest on a podcast at least once a month so that I could give value to other people's communities. And what I found in putting myself in that space of like, how can I give? How can I help serve you? It came back tenfold. And people started finding me. They're like, wow, I found you through here. I found you through there. And it's kind of like an organic like grassroots type of way to grow. But sometimes people forget, like, you can also do that. You can connect with people like a real human and not just run ads blindly to have a bunch of people follow somebody. And things like conversations like this, like real conversations with people who know each other, like it's so powerful. And I love that, you know, what you said before about you find that your audience really likes the conversation style versus just like Q&A kind of cold, like, you know, not really getting to know something. I really admire that. That's how you structure your podcast too.
Thank you. And it makes me feel comfortable. I can't sit and ask you a question with you answering and me just not taking what you said and going with it. Right. I don't like that. I don't feel like it's personal at all. I think another really important part of a community online is, especially like with yours or, you know, something very niched, you know, you have female entrepreneurs in yours. So when you step into a community that is working at higher levels, maybe 5 or 10 steps ahead of you, there's such a variety in there that just puts you at a more, it makes you feel more empowered because you're kind of with your people. And that's really important. Like, you do not have to do this alone whatsoever. Right. You do not.
Right. And that's the thing is, like, things like all this woo-woo stuff, people are like, oh, that's very like woo-woo. And in some cases you might feel really weird talking to your regular, so quote unquote regular friends about like these spiritual things that are happening to you. If you had a vision of something, or you saw something totally weird happen, or you looked for a sign and then suddenly it was there, it's like not a lot of people have other friends they can talk to about that stuff. And that's the other like benefit of having these little communities that are on that same journey with you. And so when you're like, wow, I saw my soulmate client in a meditation and she asked for this program, and that's exactly what I want to put out there. And then I put it out there and then 10 people bought it and it was so easy. I can't even believe it. And it's like, nobody else would understand it except if you were doing the work, right?
Yep. Yeah, I had a client who had just started, and after she was meditating, she got all of her titles of her modules just like spoken to her, and she just sat there and listened, and then she sold her program. And last week I was woken up because I heard somebody tell me a book title in my mind, and I was like, okay, I will write it down.
And just you saying that, I have like full body chills. It's like, that's the good stuff, right? It's like, you can't explain it. It just happens. And for some people, it's like, oh, that's weird, you know? And we don't have another word, or crazy, like, you know? And like, you kind of, at this point in my life, it's normal. Like, it's totally normal. It's synchronistic. Right. It's how I run my life. It's how I run my business, you know? And even with the weird babysitter situation, I was like, okay, I know I should have just expect this, but I'm still blown away by it. Like, that's just amazing. Like, it's just, and I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you. So I guess that's another thing is gratitude. I believe that gratitude and abundance are woven in together. And when we are grateful each and every day, even if it's for the most minute, everyday, boring, basic thing, it's a signal to the universe that you're ready for more. It's like, I got this. This is so amazing. I'm loving life. And I am happy for more of that. And so do you have any rituals? Now I'm like interviewing you. Do you have, do you have any rituals when people pay you, or when you get new clients, or any kind of gratitude practice that you do?
Definitely I express gratitude. I just like speak it out loud, you know, whatever comes to me. But I always practice gratitude every day. And then I always channel the feeling when like a client books, and like, you know, especially like, you know, a VIP client, or even when a student enrolls in my program, that feeling, you know, the feeling when you see it come across your phone, you're like, yes, woohoo! That feeling, like I always have that feeling because I always know that it's coming. And even just sharing that with your kids I mean, we do like every morning while we're waiting for the bus. I mean, we're talking to 4-year-old and a 9-year-old here. So we're starting with the basics, but we always say, let's say our 5 good things. I mean, we're grateful for dinosaurs and like, so, they pick their 5 things, but that's so important to like instill in your kids now. And I'm sure you do that too, even if they think it's so kind of funny or silly, but they love to
totally.
do it.
I love that. And actually, I think I'm going to adopt that. I was thinking it's really funny that you say that, because I was thinking my son who's 3, like, I think he's old enough for that kind of a practice. And I think it would actually strengthen my marriage and our family as a unit when we can just sit down and talk about those things that we're grateful for. And even if it is a dinosaur, my son, it was actually really funny that so we recently had 3 dogs, and one of them passed away recently. We had to put her down, and she lived a long life, nothing to be sad about, but it's still a loss, and it's still a family member, and it was heavy for us for a little while. And one night at dinner, my 3-year-old grabbed my hand. We were kind of playing like fist bump and like tickle each other, and then he grabbed my hand, and then he put his other hand out to hold Dad's hand, and he bowed his head, and he said a prayer for the dog.
Oh.
And
he's 3.
He's 3. And like my husband and I looked at each other, like we're both like welling up with tears. And we're like, did our 3-year-old just say a prayer? Like, this is remarkable. And he's setting an example for us. Like, we can learn so much from our children. And it's like, they have these needs and these desires, and there's these special little lights inside of them that it's our job to nurture. And if we're too busy like hustling and trying to do like this money making thing, it's like we miss these moments. But it's also a great lesson, like just to stop and to pause and to be grateful and to share your love for those who, make a difference in your life. And I don't know, I loved that moment.
That's so good. That gave me goosebumps too. Sometimes your kids can really surprise you, and he's like, you knew you had it in them. And then when they do it, you're like, okay, I'm doing something right.
Right. I know. And I'm like, you make it mean something about yourself. Like, I'm awesome. Like, right? I definitely am an awesome person because my kid is doing something.
I made him.
Right.
Okay, Emily. I could just talk to you all day, probably, but I can't.
Boo!
I am so grateful that I even got to share like your space and get to talk to you. You're an inspiration to me, and you've really helped make such big shifts in my business and my mind. And so thank you for that. And something that really has worked for me. So can I share your membership program?
Totally. Yeah.
You can get so much from Emily with her Mastery and Ascension. That's what it's called, right?
Yep.
Okay. With her membership, it's so powerful. The Facebook group alone is very powerful, but then you can go into her course and you can just find a boatload of meditations that you need. And they're so specific for your business. So like I'll always do her launching meditation when I'm launching, and like you can find so much stuff in there to help you. And what's interesting to me, I don't even know if I shared it with you, the last time I launched in the fall, I did a meditation like in the midst of a launch. It was getting pretty busy, and I'm like, I'm going to do this and see what happens. And then I saw at the end of it the word rest, and I was like, okay, that's very specific. Yeah. I will rest. And like, I just kind of took it down a notch and then like, just let everything come to me. Cause you can get really caught up in a launch. Like it can get
totally.
But that's why it's important to go back to your mind, to the quiet. And I am a very visual person. And that's why I really gravitated to what Emily does, because like she said in the beginning, she is very, she has a lot of guided meditations, and those are so helpful for me. So if you want to do what I do, I think this would be a really heavy and awesome tool for you to use in your business. So how can they sign up for your membership?
Oh, thank you. So they can find it through my website, emilyaarons.com/groups. And I appreciate what you said about it. It's an awesome place for entrepreneurs to get the Like, you don't have to be alone trying to meditate and have like silence in your mind. And,
or going on YouTube trying to find the perfect thing and wasting 20 minutes.
Yeah. And the feedback that I get is just like what Lindsay's saying. It's like, I never meditated before, but suddenly this is actually really working. And not only do I feel better, but I'm getting more results in my business because of it. And I mean, if you're kind of killing, like, if you're anything like we are, killing two birds with one stone, like I can relax and work on my business. This is amazing. So they can go to emilyaarons.com/groups. There is a monthly membership. You can do 1 month at a time, no commitment, or you can join as an annual member. And the annual members get access to the Soul Book healings, which are really incredible. They help to really shift and clear your energy blocks. And there's very specific ones, like Lindsay was mentioning, that are really meant to open you up to higher levels of income, clearing you for a launch, and all kinds of other things. And it's a powerful tool to use in your business. And I love sharing it, certainly. And so the other thing is you get the attunement every single month. I do a channeled energy forecast. So you can get sort of like in the flow state 1 month at a time. So, if you're feeling like a little bit off some months and you're like, I just can't get into it, it's a really great way to pull you into the flow state so you know what to focus on, and clear your energy. And it's pretty cool. So thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love looking at them. I'm like, oh, okay, I need to do this one and this one and this one. Like, they're so fun to do. I love them. They're so helpful. So I'm so grateful for those to have in my back pocket.
I'm glad.
All right, Emily, do you have anything else you would like to share with everybody? I think we're going to put the links for all of this in the show notes and on the on my website. Do you have anything else you would like to share?
So I have a little gift for listeners, and it's my most popular meditation, which is normally $18. I want to give you guys for free. And it's called Attracting Soulmate Clients with Ease. So if you have trouble, like we were talking about, getting people to say yes to you, or you're like, what's that magic ingredient? How do I get people into my tribe? This is a great way to just connect on a much deeper level with your soulmate clients and allow them to attract. And the results are insane, that people finding them out of nowhere, sign up for their programs. It helps you get back into alignment, especially if you're feeling a little funky. So I want to give that to your audience for free. And like I said, it'll be in the show notes, but that's my gift to you guys.
That is so awesome and very generous of you. I definitely recommend everyone snatch that up for sure. Well, Emily, thank you so much for coming on. It was so great to visit with you again, and I hope we can chat again very soon.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all the listeners who have spent the time with us and hanging out, and I can't wait to get to know you guys. And find me on Instagram. I'd love to see you guys, meet up with you on online.
Yes, definitely go follow Emily. She is always doing something. Like, I love watching your stories. They're so fun to watch with you and your kids.
Thank you.
Want 10 ways for you to start booking your dream clients? I created this workbook for you because I wanted to share my best tips on how I book mine. You're not going to believe how easy these are, and I know you'll be able to take my tips and put them into action ASAP so you can start working with your dream clients. To grab the workbook for free, all you have to do is go to lindsaymaloney.com/podcast. Hey coaches, are you a member of the Book Your Dream Clients community yet? Because you should be. Just go to dreamclientcommunity.com to request free access. We do fun things like website audits, challenges, and we even have a book club. Join the free Dream Client community now, and we'll see you there. Thank you so much for listening to the Book Your Dream Clients podcast. If you want to find out more information how you can work with me, just head on over to my website, lindsaymaloney.com. You will be able to see how you can work with me privately or in a group setting. I'm all about helping you start and scale your coaching business, so I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes and leave a rating and review. And if you want bonus points, take a screenshot of a review and tag me on your Instagram story. I'd love to see it and share it with my audience. And plus, you don't want to miss another episode.